Okay, everyone. Hi, my name is Ryan Smith, and welcome to the third NLC Speaker Series webinar. On my team, I'm joined by Isabel Clifford, Allegra Williams, and Cameron Allen from across the US. If they can wave if they'd like. And the title of this presentation is Operation Smile from a Global Perspective. And I'm joined by representatives from across the world. Their countries are Paraguay, Venezuela, Italy, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the Philippines, and they will be presented in that order. And the main point of this webinar is to highlight and is to have the panelists highlight and introduce their roles and how they help Operation Smile in their respective countries. And as the description states, we hope that this will open your eyes to how the organization operates across the world. So the speakers will each give a 7 to 10 minute presentation, and I will present them more in depth as we go along. Okay, so our first speaker is Ms. Paula Hisek. I hope I said that right. So Ms. Hisek is 29 years old and is on her way to getting a degree in psychology at the Universidad Católica de Asunción. I said that right as well. She's always worked as a volunteer in different civil organizations and NGOs, in a lot of health, education, and youth leadership. And she joined Operation Smile Paraguay in 2020 as the program coordinator. So if she wants to share her presentation.
Thank you, Ryan, for the introduction. I'm going to try to share my presentation. When you have to stop sharing yours, please.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Don't worry. I'm going to try now. Can now everyone see my presentation? Yeah? Yes. Okay, great. In these few minutes that I have, I'm going to try to let you know how Paraguay operates, how Operation Smile works in Paraguay. It's a short time to show you everything that we do, but I hope you can have a glimpse of the things we do here, okay? And first of all, I wanted to show you where Paraguay is. I know it's not a very, it's a very tiny country. I put a map in there. We're in South America. We consider ourselves of the heart of South America. And we're next to Brazil, Argentina, Bolivia, and Uruguay is another country that is here. We're not the same country. Just wanted to let you know that. And I'm going to begin with our history. Operation Sonrisa came in Paraguay in 2005 and were carried out its inaugural international mission at the San Jorge Hospital. They operated on 142 children and young people with cleft lip and cleft palate. Since 2005, it operates with international missions and local missions. Local missions were a little bit less fortunate children and people that were given their surgeries, but until 2014, and they founded the first and only multidisciplinary treatment clinic for cleft lip and cleft palate patients in the country. And let me just say that we remain, until now, the first and only clinic that treats these conditions as the proper way, okay? In 2017, we enabled 2 operating rooms with first-rate equipment. I think these 2 last things that I mentioned are a dream. We have our own clinic, we have 2 operating rooms. Sometimes our 2 operating rooms, we cannot use them because we have a little infrastructure for there's so many patients that need us here in Paraguay. So we have to go to other hospitals and try to adequate everything. There are hundreds and hundreds of patients that comes every year to our clinic. I wanted to show you some pictures so you can have an idea. This is the outside view. Here is our waiting area. Some of our doctor's office where the surgeon, the psychologist attend. And one of our operating rooms can handle 2 tables, 2 operating rooms. So they can operate at the same time in there. We also have, as you can see, an equipment there. with TV and cameras. So we have students in another TV live, and the surgeon can some kind of teach students or medicine students as he is operating. And that is our PICU area where the kids recuperate after their surgery. Well, we work as a multidisciplinary treatment. Okay, since 2005, Operación Sonrisa Paraguay has operated on 2,972 children with facial malformation that comes from low-income family and has offered more than 6,500 free medical evaluations. But I'm happy to say that this is not an updated numbers. And in the next, our next surgery day, because we have days now with the pandemic, we try to accommodate with new protocols. Of course, we try to keep doing surgeries. So in the next surgery that is going to be in, I think, 2-3 weeks, we're going to do our 3,000 kid with this fortunate surgery. So we're very glad to say that we're going to do some kind of party or something. And since 2014, it has the only multidisciplinary clinic that offers comprehensive treatment to patients with these conditions in the specialties of surgery, speech therapy, dentistry, nutrition, and psychology. These 5 specialties always try to work together, okay? We, in the clinic, they mostly attend one morning. We only attended one morning during the week, and they all come and they try to come at the same time so they can work together. So the nutritionist can work with the speech therapy, the dentistry, and so we can have really this complete and perfect match with every specialty. Our staff, I think this is the thing you want to more interested, right? We are 7-8 people that are working 100% on the clinic. And that is our executive director, that is Silvia Velázquez, 2 programs coordinator, I am one of them, and my partner is Adriana, a social worker, an administrative assistant, a nurse, and our warehouse chiefs. All our professionals, medical, and of course non-medical students are all volunteers, okay? As you can see there, our executive director, that is Silvia Velázquez, she Bill and Kathy came to Paraguay a few years ago. I haven't had the opportunity to be there because I wasn't in operations model in that time, but and it's really good picture to see that they came here at least. I just wanted to say what kind of things, the work that every one of us do. So the executive director is the person in charge of implementing the foundation policies and procedures and ensuring that mission, projects, and foundations daily operation and carry out properly and effectively for the comprehensive treatment of the patient. Just to see that the executive director has the responsibility of all of the rest of the staff. Okay, she is the one that has to be and behind us just to push a little bit so we can get to our goals. She is the one that marks our goals, and we have to carry out no matter what and try to do it fluently. Okay. As a program coordinators, we have 2 programs coordinators. I myself, I am one of them. And we are responsible for the development and coordination of programs, including logistics support during local and international missions, educational programs, and fundraising events, recruitment of medical and non-medical volunteers for the different programs of the foundations, develop initiatives of the recruitment and maintenance of active and potential volunteers. This is a very short description of what actually we do, because we are in the program coordinator, we are kind of multitasking always, because we are Adriana, my partner, she's more with the volunteers, with the surgeons. She tries when we have a surgery day, she tries to call to recruit the surgeon, the anesthesiologist, the nurse, I myself am a little more in the fundraising events, trying to maintain well communication with our sponsors and everything that has to do with that, and also with the students program. I'm more with the students program and non-medical volunteers, and a lot of things. But I just want to make sure I I make a good thing with our time, because we don't have a lot of time. But just to see a glimpse, of course, of our other positions, is we have a social worker that is the person in charge of the first interviews for the family, and open their medical records in the clinic, ask all the proper questions of the matter, and explains to the family which are the first steps to take. And this is a huge responsibility, because when they first come, they're very anxious. They don't have any idea what to do. Most of our patients are from the countryside of Paraguay, 6-7 hours traveling, and sometimes by bus. Right now in pandemic, we're trying to do just interview by the phone, so they don't have to come every time. And well, that's how the social worker is trying to maintain right now her work, right? Then we have a nurse. She keeps an update and organizes medical records of every patient, organize every activity on the clinic, including attention days on all of the specialties, and she is in charge of preparing the operating rooms and all the instruments on the days for the surgery. We have a warehouse chief that she is responsible for the management and conversation of medical supplies and equipment, including the proper management of the inventory. She is in the warehouse. Nobody has to bother her, because she has a very delicate job. As you can see, we receive a lot of donations, especially from the HQ we receive, and then she has to, have every single number as they come and as they go. And we have an administrative assistant that is the person responsible for administrative tasks and managing the accounting and financial systems and procedures. She also she's the one that is the receptionist of the patients and visitors. She's right in front of the first face that visitors see when they come into our clinic. That is how the different positions we have and how we work. As I told you, we are in Fernando de la Mora, which is sitting next to Asunción, which is the capital of Paraguay. I think one of our most challenges is to get to our patients that are not in the capital. They are in the countryside. Is very poor communication. And of course, we try to make alliances with other hospitals in the countryside, and we're trying to make projects to get them to them, because most of the doctors, they're very well educated, but they don't really know how to face these kind of conditions. And most of them just don't give any hope to the family, or they just say it's just gonna be like that, it's gonna be okay. And and we are very eager to get to them, to show them that you have an option, you have a better way to look up to your kid, right? I think with the little time, that is what I can show you about our clinic. And these pictures, I just wanted to show you that is why we do what we do. We love what we do. This is Alfredo, and he got to us like the first picture, as you can see in your left. He got to us like that. He was very malnourished and with all different in very bad shape. And the picture in the middle, he got to us like that. I think he was a little bit before his first surgeries, his lip surgery. And the last picture, it was just a few weeks ago. He had his palate surgery, and he is showing his thumb up. So it was an amazing experience for me to see that develop after he got out of the operating room. So I think that's it. I'm open to any question if you have, and I'm so happy that you call, and I'm glad for you to invite me. Okay.
Thank you so much. I think we're going to do questions at the end. So for now, our next speakers, pull up my screen, are Mr. and Mrs. Gallardo. So first to introduce Wendy Gallardo. So Wendy's been a volunteer for Operation Sonrisa Venezuela from January 2008 to now. And she's the director in charge for the group in Venezuela from April 2016 to July of 2017. In the executive direction of Operation Sonrisa Venezuela from July 2017 to present. And now moving on to Alberto, her husband. Alberto is an industrial engineer with extensive experience in local and regional organizations in the commercial area of the automotive and health industries. And he is a volunteer for Operation Sonrisa Venezuela from January 2007 to the present as a biomedical technician. And he's a member of the board of directors from the period of 2019 to 2021. So if you guys have a presentation, I can take down my screen, but if not, oh wait, you guys do, sorry.
Thank you.
Presentación.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello,
we can see it.
And I'm so happy to be here with you and thank you for the opportunity. We are going to speak about who we are. Operation Smart Venezuela is the older and the largest NGO in Venezuela. We have around 27 years in our country. Operation Smart is the only foundation make free surgery, the clip and palliative lip. We have 3 people. Maria Cristina, she's our coordinator, program coordinator. Henry Alvarado, he's accountant and financial. And Jocelyn Mendez, she's assistant, the program manager. And we are a small people, a small group, but we have a lot of work to do, and we are happy to make everything in our mission. Operation Smart Venezuela have made the surgery because we have only support in the cooperative and the people donate for us. We have around 119 mission in 18 country, around the country. You can see in our map the city we are going to, where we have been making mission. I'm going to show a video. This video is not all, but you can see a little bit our work.
Lo fácil que los niños se adaptan a todo. No se dan cuenta de lo fuertes que son. La experiencia que tiene el niño es algo muy bonito. Cuando son desaparecidos y todos súper alegres. Que se puede transformar la vida de las personas.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Nice to be here with you. I'm going to talk a little bit about the incidence of the cleft lip palate in Venezuela. In our country, we can say the incidence is 1 of every 700 born new children per year. In our experience, 51% of those 700 borns are boys and 49% of those 700 are girls. Also, 60% have the cleft lip palate, and only 40% have the cleft lip problem. In this more than 27 years, Operation Smart Venezuela has practiced more than 8,040 safe surgery. Operation Mal Venezuela have more than 70 certified local volunteers in 13 different specialties. All these specialties needed for perform local and international missions. We can do missions, our local missions. We have all the complete staff, so we don't need, because the problem in our country, we can do missions without the need of bringing volunteering for outside. In this problem, in this moment, how Wendy told you, since 2012, we haven't had any international mission because security and a lot of problem in the country, but we're still doing the missions with no problem because all of our volunteers. In addition to the surgical mission, we also have weekly consultations about the speech therapy. This one because the COVID-19 are performed online in the moment. We also have odontology consultant. This consultant consists in pediatric odontologists, NAM devices, and orthodontic. In this, you can see now what is, for people who don't know, what is a NAM device. A NAM device is a little device the little boy use when they are really little. And it used this two little balls you see over there. They try to lift the nose and mold it a little bit so it's better when the surgery is performed. Can preform the nose. You can see here a little boy, he's Leandro. When he came the first time to Operation Smile, to our consultation, and how he finished the mission. Using the NAM is really improving when the time of the surgery comes because the nose is almost perfect and don't have that problem that you see the cleft lip and with the nose to one side to another side. This is performed in some countries in Latin America, and we are one of the one that do it. Here is how you can see another case. In this case is lip and palate, Aranza Milano. She arrives really small in the foundation. She's a unilateral lip. You can see you can see here how the nose was going to one side, and with the NAM you can see here the finish is almost like a perfect nose, only using the NAM. Also in the middle you can see how was closing the palate without surgery. This is only using the NAM device. And you see the first one in 2018 and the last one, 2019, was a lot better closed. So when the surgery was performed, was less invasive and better results about that. This is how she is in this moment. She also came into the Operation Smile with a severe case of malnutrition. That's a problem we have, a big problem we have now in our country. And this is another consultation we have in Operation Smile office. We have nutrition consultations. In addition to the consultations, we also provide food, vitamins, supplements, everything to improve the health of the patients so they can be better prepared when they arrive to the surgery day.
After COVID-19, we have to change some process, some protocol in our headquarters, but we have to continue with the pregnancy, with the person-to-person, the nutrition, because we have to improve the health for the people and for all the family, not only the patient. We have to give food for all the people to improve all the condition in the house. In this case, we have to, every 50 day, depending on the situation, we give food and we give vitamin, meal, and roof. This is a special nutrition supplement.
Yes, was something that was saying Wendy. A lot of time, the child with the cleft or lip problem is one of 5, 6, 3, I don't know how much brother sibling they have. So we have to give enough food so we can ensure the kid with the problem is receiving food, because they're gonna give food for all the siblings. But we have to ensure that the kid with the problem, they have to give them more food to try to improve. Because a problem we have here in Venezuela is we have a lot of kids with the cleft and lip palate problem, but we cannot operate them because they are so undernutrition, severe desnutrition, a lot of stuff. So we have to prepare the patient a lot before so they can be operated. But we're making it, we are doing it. Last year, with all the problem with the COVID stuff, we could operate 45 patients.
35.
I think we were
35.
one of the little countries in Latin America we could make operation. But we are doing it a little grain by grain, but we are doing it.
And this year we have to make 2 surgery, mini mission, and we are operate 50 patients with the most special protocol, security protocol and biosecurity. And you can see our small group, the surgery nurse and the scrub nurse. And it's the small people are making the mini mission, like we are called the mission.
Yeah, this is a new reality around the world. We look like we're to the space or something, but this is how we can do it, and we're doing it, and looking forward to keep doing that.
Yeah. And this is all our presentation. If you have some question, at the end.
We'll be pleased to take your question. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So next up, we have Miss Chivari, and she's from Italy, and she's been a volunteer with Operation Smile Italia on LUS since 2009. And in the spring of 2011, she started the Smile Olympics, which is an annual initiative that over the years has become central in the country's fundraising efforts. After ISLC in Ireland in 2016, Christina joined the Italian Foundation as a member of the Assembly of Founders. And more recently, with ISLC in Rome, she helped plan the event. And then, like most recently, she helped with work with student programs to help facilitate the Sending Hope campaign this past month in Italy and throughout Europe. So, and also she asked me to share a more in-depth presentation, so I will be sharing that in the chat.
I can, Ryan, I can share my presentation. We tried, so I can go on as, and then you can send it to who wants to see it better.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get share the. Okay, can you see it?
No, not right now.
I don't know. We tried before. Okay. Now, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, hi everyone. I will speak about Italy from a different point of view, from point of view of students that are very active in the foundation. So through them, I will talk to you about our Italian foundation. Let me do this. Okay, so Operation Smile was born in 2000. It was founded by Domenico Scopelliti and other medical volunteers of Operation Smile. And since then, we have 141 medical volunteers. So the group has grown a lot. We have participated in international programs as well in Italian local programs. You all know what a cleft is, so I'll go quick on this. In 2014, I was invited as a speaker to ICLC to speak about the Smile Olympics. And there I discovered the power of young students and how incredible they are. So when I came back, I really spoke with our executive director and asked her if we could really start a new student program in Italy. Students are our future, and they want to make the difference, and they dream of a world where no child suffers. This is really the claim that best explains why they wanted to get involved with Operation Smile. We are based on the 4 pillars, just like student programs. We do advocacy, education, service, and leadership. Advocacy through school assemblies, class presentations, speakers at conferences. We promote events. They share with their family and friends. They work on social media, the photo exhibition, and gadgets. Leadership, they participate in different conferences, ICLC and Step Up. And this year, the pandemic gave us a new tool, the Zoom meetings, because thanks to this, we were able to bring all the European clubs and student programs together on a same project. In Italy, we like to organize many fundraising activities, and students have been taking ownership of them. So we have fundraising events organized by the foundation and fundraising events organized by students. We want to give them the tools to be successful and so that their fundraising event reaches the goal that they plan to meet. They create school clubs, especially with international schools that have CAS project, and they love to create goods to sell, old toys, bake sales, keychains, and many other things. Education is very important for us. We want to give them the right tools so they can be successful in what they want to do for Operation Smile, how they want to participate, if they want to do advocacy, if they want to do fundraising. So we try to give them all the tools so they can achieve their goals. Soft skills are very important, and I think they achieve these while organizing their projects. As I said, these are projects that students do for Operation Smile. Service is a big part, and we have, as Italy, we have several also local projects. Un Mare di Sorrisi, A Sea of Smiles, is a project that is in partnership with the Marina Militare Italiana, the Navy, Italian Navy. And on the air carrier Cavour, a huge, huge ship, we do weekend clinics where patients get surgery. Of course, this program has stopped in the past 2 years. First, because aircraft Cavour has gone under maintenance, so they have to do works on it. And now with COVID, I think that I don't know when it will be ready to host us again. And on the aircraft, patients, families, staff, everybody was on board. And they have 2 operating rooms, very, very well equipped. And all the patients would stay there. We would arrive there on a Friday and leave on a Sunday, and it's like a mini medical mission, basically. World Care Program is another program where we invite a patient, we host patients and and one parent of children that are living in countries where Operation Smile is not present and does not give surgery. And there are also countries that are nearby Italy. So Libya, Afghanistan, all countries that are in the Africa and Middle East region. Then we have Dentistry Day, that it's just a day where all the orthodontic treatments are take care of our children and our patients. And I'm leaving the Smile House as the last project because it's our main big project. Smile House is it was invented and founded by Domenico Scopelliti as a project to create care centers in Italy, because also in Italy we have lots of patients that need surgery, and well-timed surgery, and high quality and high standards. So in the Italian system, we have healthcare that goes up to 18 years old. You're in a pediatric hospital, then you go in another hospital. So you lose all those all those doctors that have been taking care of you. And the Smile House is a multi-center, multidisciplinary centers where there is not only surgery, but speech therapy, psychology, then there is a dentist, an orthodontist. There's all the treatments that patients need apart from surgery. And we take care of patients that go from 0 to whenever they need, because sometimes you need to have surgery even when you're an adult. So if you're out of the 18-year-old, then it becomes very difficult to get into the waiting list, into getting all the surgeries. So so Domenico thought about this need in Italy and invented and created the Smile House. We have 3 Smile Houses now, the big centers where they give surgery in Milan, Roma, and Vicenza. And we have 3 smaller centers where they do not provide surgery, but they do all the speech therapists, orthodontics, so that visits. So it's Cagliari, Ancona, and Taranto. The students are always part of these projects, and they're always there to help our patients, to listen to the parents, and to try to make their stay as nice and as relaxed as possible. Our students have participated also in international missions, and our student group goes from primary school up all the way to university. We have 4 groups because we think that even at a very young age, students can make the difference. And not everybody knows what challenges, first of all, what CLEFT is about, and what challenges the children that are born with this problem, what they go through in life. So we enter in schools and we talk about bullyism, about isolation, and we try to make them understand that that what patients go through and how important is how they include the children that are born with this problem, and how much they can help children in other countries outside of Italy as well. So the elementary students, we tried to approach them in a soft way, and presenting the Smile Olympics in the class, we always have a question and answer session at the end. This year we could not do Smile Olympics because 800 kids all together with COVID was not allowed. So we created recreational activities, and some of them really understood what Operation Smile is about and wanted to take the next step. And they created their small activities for fundraising: baking goods, Beyblade competitions, water tattoos, and sales. Then we have the middle schoolers. They're a bit older, so they can take more responsibility. They're very enthusiastic and passionate, and we still give them the tools to be successful. High school students are the core of our student programs, and with them we really create a lot of fundraising, a lot of events of awareness as well. Our students are really part of the foundation, and they're always with us, present in every event we do, from awareness event, fundraising, and service. They're always there for us. For them, attending the medical missions, the internationals, and as well as our local programs really gives them a perspective that changes their lives. Our university students are really our Smile ambassadors. They create a lot of awareness in their universities, and we have students, university students usually come from medical school. So hopefully they will be our future doctors in Operation Smile. They're deeply, deeply involved, and they're able to participate to the international programs. And this year, COVID had to make us change our way of doing activities. So we went a lot virtual with Zoom meetings, Zoom labs, online contests where we could group in small groups in order to comply with all the restrictions, COVID restrictions. How we usually work is that we choose, student program chooses one project to support for the entire year, and all our activities go towards that project. So in the years we did with Smile Olympics missions, we supported partially medical missions in Philippines, in Nicaragua, in Madagascar, in Malawi, in Honduras, also for Smile House in Italy, of course. And this photo is a photo of a mission on the aircraft Cavour that was completely supported by student programs with the Changemaker campaign. So the Changemaker, for who doesn't know what it was, we were collecting change, becoming change makers. And by collecting change, we collected so much change to pay for all the expenses of the mission on the air carrier Cavour, and these 3 students were part of that mission. So this is what students say about us and why they want to be with Operation Smile. On the right top, there's 2 patients that actually became 2 volunteers. And for us, they are really great ambassadors because they can really explain what they feel, what they felt, what was to live with a cleft lip and cleft palate. When I go in schools, in elementary school, and I ask, do you know what a cleft is? Usually nobody knows. So we really need to create a lot of awareness around this so that people are more informed about the problem. Thank you for everybody, to everybody for listening to me, and I hope I wasn't too long.
Thank you. Okay, so next up we have Mr. Frank Zumba. I hope I said that right. So Frank is a medical doctor and a project manager and entrepreneur based in Kinshasa in the Democratic Republic of Congo. He's worked in a range of public and private hospitals and also private companies and ONGs, where he has occupied various positions such as field representative, patient coordinator, etc. Currently, he is clinical assistant in the radiology department at HJ Hospitals and an emergency doctor at the National Program for Emergency, and also an Operation Smile National Patient Coordinator. He's the co-founder of a continuous training center for medical professionals, providing training in ultrasound, and he hopes to extend this as his biggest aspiration in providing affordable training throughout the African continent. And also he speaks over 4 languages among English. So if you'd like to share, Frank, or if you're still having trouble, we can stay on this slide. Just let me know.
Frank, are you on to present? I see you in the participants chat.
You're muted. You might have to unmute yourself.
Hello, can you see me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm nice to be here with you to share my experience. Let me try to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to share with you my roles in Operation Smile. Now, Operation Smile is in the Democratic Republic of Congo since 2009. Last year, we celebrated the 10 years anniversary of Operation Smile in DRC. For the brief story, I heard about Operation Smile for the first time in April 2019 when I was a student. That year, Operation Smile organized its first surgical mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo. An international team of medical volunteers of different specialties composed of about 80 persons who speaks mostly English. As you know, the DRC is a French-speaking country, and it was necessary to find translators for that mission. So 22 medical students were selected to do this, and I was part of that group. And since Operation Smile has become my family, and I continue to participate to Operation Smile medical mission every year, becoming the team leader of medical student. As you can see in that pictures, here we have the medical student group. In blue, they are the high school volunteers students coming from high school. So we were combining medical student and high school student. High school students were very, very important part of Operation Smile because most of them come from rich family, and they also were doing fundraising for Operation Smile. And medical student was involved in mission of Operation Smile by assisting doctors, assisting nurses, and to support the mission as it was going. So I was organizing student meeting in 3 universities in the city of Kinshasa. And during missions, I had in charge to organize medical student team as translator, giving them the opportunity to assist plastic surgeons, anesthesiologists, pediatricians, and during the screening day, the surgery days, the post-op day, the post-operative days. As you can see in the following pictures, we have a medical student here who is assisting an anesthesiologist during the screening days. And here, the medical student taking information about the patient. During surgery days, all medical students were dispatched in different stations. Here you can see I am here in the ICU room to help the ICU station with translation between patient and Operation Smile volunteer. And here I am there to assist also the surgeon, the plastic surgeon during the operation day. It was a very, very fantastic experience for me as a medical student to assist those physicians. Here you can see anesthesiologist, and we were also assisting anesthesiologist. My role was not only to organize the student group, and I had also a key roles in education program in the Democratic Republic of Congo. As a volunteer, I also have in charge of training in DRC. I am the person in charge of organizing training, and in 2012, I became a basic life support instructor, and in 2016, a pediatric advanced life support instructor. These are trainings accredited by the American Heart Association, and Operation Smile is a partner of the AHA as a training center. I am invited to several countries to run this training, where Operation Smile has its office, in particular in Madagascar, where I have been going every year since 2015, in Kenya, in Morocco, and here in DRC. I have already trained more than 1,200 persons and run more than 75 classes since I am lead instructor with the American Heart Association. The picture here is showing some training image here. This is a courses run here in DRC at the hospital where Operation Smile is doing its mission. Here it is a training in Madagascar. Here, still in DRC and in Kenya as well. So in 2016 and 2017, I worked for Operation Smile as a patient coordinator in the province of Kinshasa. Kinshasa is the capital of DRC. It was a part-time job, and during this period, 2 surgical missions were organized. So I was managing and consistently updating the comprehensive cleft patient database, collecting and recording patient data provided from all contacts. I was in contact with many other doctors around the country, and I created a network of focal persons at each town or villages, establishing a working relationship with them to sequence patients into program for medical mission, for post-op, and also for pre-screening. I traveled sometimes to do the pre-screening of patients, and I was going into villages, explaining to the doctors how they can select a patient for Operation Smile mission. This is during a mission in Malawi as well. I support Malawi's team once in 2012 during the inaugural mission of Operation Smile in Malawi. And here it is a mission in Kinshasa at Clinic Ngaliema, where we are doing our mission, and at the shelter here to explain the patient how we are going to proceed for their care. After being a patient coordinator for Operation Smile, in April 2019, I got the position of program coordinator as this position was vacant. We have registered many resignations here in DRC, and most of the time program coordinator, in-country manager are resigning. So I propose to the team, I apply to this position to help Operation Smile to grow in DRC. That's why I applied for these positions. In April 2019, I got the position of program coordinator. And since then, I am more than ever at the oven and at the mill with all the activities of Operation Smile. And as a program coordinator, I work on the preparation, the execution, and reporting of all surgical programs in the DRC. I am also responsible for all referral patients in DRC, the World Care patients from the region, and all medical volunteers related to surgical programs. I am responsible for all logistics pertaining to Operation Smile program in DRC. Actually, I am the only staff on field that Operation Smile have here in DRC. So I am assuming all the job: patient coordinator, training coordinator, program coordinator, and in-country manager roles. I'm combining all these roles here in DRC, but sometimes I am helped by another staff who is the accountant of Operation Smile. He really helped me a lot doing my job. You can see some pictures here during the mission. Here, it is the day we are scheduling the surgery during the mission. And this is the visit of the Minister of Health during the last mission we did here in DRC. And I was explaining him in each station what we are doing. And this is the donation Operation Smile has done lastly to support our partner hospital during this COVID-19 time. I think that's all for me today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think you have to unshare your screen so I can reshare mine. Frank, could you unshare your screen so I can share Emilio's bio real quick? I think there should be like a band on the top that says stop share.
Sorry?
Just on the top, there's a band that says stop sharing so we can continue with the remaining speaker.
Is it done?
Not yet. I think if you go to the top of your PC.
Yeah.
Oh, there
yes,
you go.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. So our final speaker, Mr. Emiliano Romano, he is a young Italian entrepreneur that has over 12 years of experience concerning managing and leading an organization. He's an accountant by profession and obtained his degree in Switzerland. And in 2018, he served as a board of director for JCI in Manila. And currently, he is the executive director of Operation Smile Philippines and is fluent in Tagalog and English. So, Emiliano, if you have a presentation.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you so much, Ryan. So hello, everybody, to all the students, and of course, to my other country. I hope I'll try to be as energetic as possible because here in the Philippines, it's 3 a.m. in the morning. So I'll try my best to keep you entertained during this presentation. All right, so my presentation is divided into a few steps, right? So I'm gonna give you an idea about the Philippines first, and then talk about what we do and what's in place for 2021 onward, and also how we do it, okay? So I start with a question for all the students, and my questions to all of you is, who wants to travel to the Philippines after I show you this? So this is the Philippines. We have beautiful island, we have beautiful places to go. I'm sure now, with this COVID, you would love to just jump on a plane and come to the Philippines, enjoy, your time on the beach with family, right? But at the same time that you see these beautiful places, this is the other side of the Philippines that people don't always show, right? And this is how the poverty is in the Philippines. And what's the problem that we're facing right now? It's pretty simple. It's an inequality between the rich and the poor, right? So in 2018, there was a report that rich earn around $3,800 per month, while the lower class, right, or it's considered as poor, earn $190 per month. So that's actually times 95% times more. So that's the problem that we are facing right now in the Philippines. But not just there. Let's go into medical. So what are the major needs for surgical care in the Philippines, right? So cleft patients, we get about 4,000 to 4,500 children born every year with cleft, right? We have a backlog estimated in the entire Philippines of 43,000 patients, and mostly ages 0 to 14. And why Philippines is even more difficult? Because we are a 7,000 island country. So it's very hard to mobilize things around. If you look at here at the report, WHO gave about 20 over 100,000 when it comes to surgeon, anesthesiology, and obstetrics. So the ratio should be 20 over 100,000. In the Philippines, we have a 9.2. So definitely we are way, way beyond when it comes to surgical. Government-wise, unfortunately, the government do not have like a national surgical plan, right? Currently, we have about 1,270 plus hospital in the country, but only 9% of those, which is 117, are level 3, which mean they have training facility, they have ICU capability. We have about community health centers, right, which is about 20,000 across 42,000 barangay in the Philippines. And then, of course, we have a point of access of specialty care are a bit lower, especially in the remote area. Again, remember, we are a 7,000 island, right? But this is the point why Operation Smile is here. Operation Smile, of course, I'm sure you know, it's the birthplace in the Philippines in 1982. I'm sure you might have heard Dr. Bill stories about the banana. If not, if you have times along the way to speak with Dr. Bill at some point in time, you may want to ask him the first story on why he decided to put up Operation Smile. Of course, so we're celebrating, as an organization, we're celebrating worldwide the 40th, but Philippines alone is celebrating also the 40th. We have run over 43,900 surgical and dental patients, right, through 3,406 mission across 80 cities as of January. Currently, we have a volunteer base of 180 plus, which is a mix of plastic surgeon, anesthesiologists, nurses, and the like. And then, of course, we have partnership hospital with government, NGOs, local units, and the likes. So let me introduce you to my team. So as you see, I'm the executive director for the Philippines. I actually got on board in Operation Smile last 2020. So it's divided into different sectors. So we have the program sector, which we have a program director, which is Cherry. Cherry is actually a plastic surgeon, right? So it's also our program director. And then we have program coordinator, okay? Then we have, of course, the admin and finance, which we have also. Currently, we were able to finish last year our own warehouse where we can store all our own supplies. Now we are in the process of hiring a full finance manager, and also a volunteer manager. And then before the end of 2021, we are aiming to add about 4 new positions, right? So definitely we're trying to expand. And then of course we have our board of trustee, we have OSI, and then we are lucky enough, we have a medical council. So we have a medical council which is composed by about 20 plastic surgeon, nurses, anesthesiologists, which guide us on the medical aspect of our organization. But let's more on depth. So that's the map of the Philippines. More or less, the green flag, this is where we have done surgery. Okay, we might have missed some. So our headquarters is in Metro Manila, in Makati. Currently, we have our own Operation Smile centers, which does regular surgery on a weekly basis, which is located, one is in Davao City, one is in Pampanga, and of course, one is in Manila. By the end of the year, or at least for the 4th year, we're planning to add 3 more independent center. So the idea is now we are going away from mission type, but what we want is a more continuous program. We have also hospital partnership. So we partner with private hospitals as well, where we can send the kids there to get surgery as well. Of course, we do surgical mission. Typically, we do about 6 local and 3 international every year. And then we have, of course, the speech therapist or the speech program, right? And then this year, we just started also a full-blown nutrition program, which we are doing about 40 kids for under 20 days. And the idea is to see the entire patient journey from build malnourished, get proper food, nutrition, get surgery, and then after surgery, if needed, then there is speech therapy. And then we started also what we call a Plan Smile, or is a goodwill program. The goodwill program, usually it's supported by donors, by students, etc. Because Philippines, we are being attacked every year by typhoon, right? So we have a raining season, we get 10, 15 typhoon a year, where certain places get flooded, people loses their home, people loses everything. So we created this program, a goodwill program, to support them. And then we also shifted, because of COVID, to a teletherapy program. Okay, sorry. And then also, I'm very happy and proud that this 2021, we were able to start the first and ever student program, Philippines. And this is run by the CLC, or the College Leadership Council. And the president is actually here with us today in this Zoom, which is Tante from Cebu. I'm sure most of you may know Tante because he's very active in Operation Smile. But we are aiming to add school. So what we did is the College Leadership Council take care of any student chapter that we're gonna open in the entire Philippines. So they're like the guide for them. So what's next? What's in place for our coming years? For 2021, we aim to go a bit more systematic, okay? I am a person that I like processes. We're trying to implement patient mapping system across the entire nation, the entire country. We're trying, as I said, opening additional center in the Philippines, right? I like interconnectivity between local government, right? Patient mapping is very important. So what pretty much we're trying to do here is to make a data-driven approach for the upcoming years. And of course, preparing for our 40th, right? But then there is always a question, and this is more for you students that you're here with us today, because people always ask how we do what we do, right? And they always ask me, so how do you manage your time? Like now, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I love sharing what I know with you guys, right? So, sorry. Right, and then I always say it's proper leadership is the key to success. And then where do we start? Number one, this is my family. I'm very proud of them because it's important that especially I'm an executive director, I go through a lot of things. You do a work-life balance, right? Without your family that support you, it's gonna be hard for me to do or to deliver what the Philippines has to deliver on a calendar year. And so I always put 4 major steps, which is God, family, fitness, and work. God, of course, and each of us have our own God that we believe in, but family is very important. And when I put it in that sequence, it's really because work without family, without mental health fitness, right? It is nothing. You're just gonna burn yourself. So it's always good for you to balance. This is on a personal, but on my team, the way I do is I'm making sure that I empower my team. So when I approach things to be delivered, right, I always say, let's work towards a common goal, not a singular path. So it's always has to be collaboration. Why? Because we do so many things every day. Imagine if you have to run everything by yourself, you're not going to make the success, right? And so it's always good to empower your team. We always making sure that, I create a strength-based culture, meaning if someone in the organization is good at something, you have to recognize it and give him the credit, right? I always say it's not about me, it's about my team, it's about the organization, right? I always tease them because I always say, we fail together, we win together. Reinforce positive behavior, open line of communication. I'm an open book. In my office, I don't even have a door. I like them to just come by. Anybody can call me, from the students, the donor, the employee, anybody. I'll try to make myself as available as possible, right? And then lastly, it's very important that, be an encouraging mentor, right? You always have to mentor your people. And, if you win the trust of your people, then you can make it a success. And so I leave you with a quote, or, a thing is, when you feel like stopping, always think about why you started, right? Why are we here today? Why do we do Operation Smile, right? So thank you so much. So these are my social, just in case you want to follow, you want to, send me messages, ask me questions, anything. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So now we're going to open it up to questions from the audience. If no one comes through with questions immediately, we have some already scripted, so I'll ask you guys some of those. Okay, I can go ahead and ask one question. This is directed for Wendy and Alberto. You mentioned in 2012 that international missions had to stop coming into Venezuela. We were just curious how general changes in your country have impacted the operations inside your country with Operation Smile.
Yes, okay. Well, the lack of international mission started in 2012 because we have having problems with security moving inside the country. So we started to doing only local mission. Well, before COVID in 2019, 2018, we're almost cannot go to another location outside of Caracas. Caracas is the capital city. So what we're doing now in this pre-COVID is bringing the patient from inside the country to outside to Caracas, because there are some regions that have only like one flight a day, or in a Friday, and the next flight is on Monday. So if something happened to that flight, people cannot go there, and you cannot do a mission. Normally we do missions, 3-day mission, like Friday, Sunday, and Saturday. So in this very moment, we're bringing the patient to Caracas and doing all the operation in Caracas. Something good about the COVID is that we normally, the patient that we're operating go back to inside the country couldn't have speech therapy, or they have to look for a local speech therapist. Now with all this Zoom, Meet, and everything we're doing now online, a lot of patients have been in the speech therapy consultation. Also, we have a lot of people going outside the country, and we have patients that were operated by Operation Smile Venezuela, living in Peru, living in Colombia. They are attending to the speech therapy consultation because we are doing it online. So looking the good of the bad, we have a patient outside giving them the consultation of speech therapies because of this.
Great, thank you. We have a question in the chat from Athena Kritz. I hope I say this right, Krixton. And I guess anyone can answer this. So she asks, are the patients mainly chosen based off severity? So if anyone wants to hop in there.
Yeah, maybe I can go. For the Philippines, it's really more on first come, first serve. And, even if we don't really look at severity, because in terms of, cleft, I don't think there is such a thing of, severity. However, age also matters sometimes, right? As much as possible, we want to try to capture the child on that age range. But usually what we do is we look at the registration and then we just go from the top to bottom. We don't make someone skip the line, because it's, it's like that. We do preferential, because that's where the problems start. So as much as possible, we do first come, first serve, and then we just continue the list long. Because again, if you give priority to someone else, what's going to happen? The other patient will be waiting even longer. And that's, my complaint, there is so many things behind that. So that's how we do it in the Philippines.
Wendy, did you want to say something?
Yep.
Yes, to complement a little bit what Emiliano said, is also like here, the first one is KIME is the one you're going to serve. But also there's in the global standard of Operation SMILE, there are the priorities. So we have priority 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think they're changing this year, but depending of those priority are you're gonna look who's gonna have the surgery first or then.
This question is for Emiliano, but how has Operation SMILE Philippines changed over the time that you've worked with them?
Oh, okay. Well, I joined last December 2020. What I can say is, in terms of my leadership, I'm a very systematic and process-oriented person. I always believe that the foundation of an organization has to be strong enough for you to upscale, right? So now we're going towards a 4th year. And what 4th year looks like for the Philippines alone, it's really to do that's one long step, which we know will give huge impact in the entire Philippines. And so what I did in the first few months being in the office is really look at the entire processes. I rewrote manuals for the operations, for the mission, for the center. I'm making sure that I align communication among different stakeholders in the organization, right? And then, of course, I introduced the students. Although Tante, which is also in the chat, has been a very active student, but we formalize it so that students can be a good support to our organization.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a question directed towards Frank. So the question I scripted is, in your bio, you stated you aspire to help establish affordable training for medical and non-medical professionals across the African continent. And I was just curious, where are you in pursuing this goal currently? So yeah. I think you're still muted.
Ryan, can you please repeat your question? You were breaking up a bit.
Yep, I'll repeat it. So in your bio, you stated that you wanted to help establish affordable training for medical and non-medical professionals across the African continent and in the DRC. I was just curious, how are you seeing through this goal currently?
Yeah, the training will be based on, it is a ultrasonography training and also some training in emergency medicine. Now, I've worked with a private hospital here in Kinshasa called ATD Hospital. It is an hospital. The owner of this hospital is an Indian businessman. And I worked in that radiology department here. And when I went in Italy for a training in ultrasonography in the University Hospital of Pisa, I spent some months in Italy learning ultrasonography over there. I really discussed with the head of the department of this hospital. He was really interested because here in our country, we are limited by some other training. For example, many physicians, even in radiology, doesn't know how to do ultrasonography Doppler, for example. And based to the discussion I had with my friend in the University of Pisa, we discussed to see how we can do training here. We can create a collaboration between Italy and the DRC to help our local physician to learn more in some other practice. For the emergency training also, I go through my experience with the American Heart Association. You know, our country, we are really limited. When I do the training, even at the university, I realized that many people, many even physicians really doesn't know how to use, for example, the defibrillator. You can find a person working in emergency or department, but who doesn't really know how to use the defibrillator and doesn't know what is the algorithm that he can use to take care of patients. And I started to train physician first here with the team of doctors working in this private hospital, HG Hospital. I discussed with them. It is a very well equipped hospital here in Kinshasa, one of the best, and it is well equipped. And I discussed with them. We have already started to train physicians in ultrasonography, and myself with the American Heart Association experience, I'm training people in BLS, PALS, and in the future we will do ACLS course as well.
Great, thank you. So we have a question in the chat. Maybe Christina or Paula could answer. So the first one, we have a lot. So the first one is, how can students join or participate in other international Operation Smile events or programs?
How can students join or participate in other international Operation Smile? Well, I think that they can certainly participate at ICLC, which I don't know, probably will be virtual. From there, we always had mission training workshops, but missions are changing a lot. And I think student program is really in, Morgan, maybe you can answer this better, but from what I know, student program is trying to find other programs to get students involved. They tried several pilot projects, the cook stove for university students. I'm sure they're going to come up with ideas also for high school students. But with this COVID, I think things have changed a lot. I don't think we will go back to the big medical missions we were used to. Also because from what I know, the medical mission, we have done so much of the education of medical doctors so well that there's less spaces for international missions. There's a lot of local missions are much more, they're a greater number than the internationals. So I think there are going to be different programs for students to participate, and and COVID will show us the way of doing different things, getting more global, maybe getting in projects that are not the classic medical mission that we're used to.
I just wanted to add it. Also, we have the opportunity now. You can follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and watch the different events that we are having. Some of them maybe you can participate in being in another country. And I don't know, I'm just trying to figure out in my head maybe a fundraising events in your countries that may have allowing us, because we always are open to receive donations and stuff, and the student programs are a base for us and in the fundraising events that we have. So that is, I think, something that you can get involved with. So we are as Operación Sonrisa Paraguay in Facebook, and also in Instagram, the same altogether.
We have a question directed to Christina, and the question says, based off your presentation, I believe your role is more student programs based. How specifically does your role with Operation Smile Italy differ from the other leadership roles with Operation Smile around the world presented today?
So I founded Operation Smile student programs in Italy, and I am in charge of it. So I basically work with students, and I organize as a volunteer. That's also a difference, I think. I'm in Operation Smile, not as a staff, but just as a volunteer. So I've been organizing fundraising events to raise funds to support the projects of Operation Smile in Italy and around the world. And after organizing the Smile Olympics, I founded also student programs. And what I do, I keep organizing fundraising events, and I am in charge of all the students in Italy.
Great. So for our last question in the chat, I guess anyone can hop in on this one. It says, I wanted to ask, in countries with few hospitals available, how can we help patients who live far away make the trip and find housing while they receive their treatments?
I wanted to answer that. A challenge. Maybe next, Frank, you can follow, but it is a challenge thing. Thankfully, for surgery especially, we have a church nearby the clinic that is offer us a shelter. We try to organize everything in that so they can have food on the days that is the international missions that are big missions. And we also have companies, transportation companies that offer their services, and so they are free, all free. The transportation from their 7-hour from the clinic to their house is totally free, and that's how usually we manage. Now during the pandemic, we also have virtual treatment, especially for speech therapy, and that's how we manage right now. And we also make sure our social worker is all eyes on what patient needs more special kind of treatment. She has to know with what kind of families, mostly at the very low incomes, but there are families that still can afford a little, and there are other families that no at all. So that is where we try to make sure that they come.
This question is also for Paula, but how do you see your work with other nonprofit organizations through your position with Operation Smile in Paraguay?
Thank you, Cameron. We are also working with connectively with other NGOs. Right now, during the pandemic, I have to say we've been a little disconnected, but hopefully we're trying to make to make us to feel more connected, especially with an NGO that is called Indeconin, which is the malnutrition. They cover the part of the malnutrition and try to make the statistics that of Paraguay of malnutrition look as they're real. So a lot of CLEP patients pass through that. So we try to make always try to give them the information that we have of the clinic and other NGOs. Is very great. So it's very great in that time. But as I said, we still, I think we have to be a little more connected right now during the pandemic.
All right, so I think we're going to wrap up right now. I just wanted to thank everyone for coming that signed up. And then also, of course, our speakers for offering up their time, even at 3 a.m. or wherever they are in the world. We thank you so much for what you guys do for Operation Smile, and of course, for coming today.